Hey guys, welcome to Mikey Yourself. I'm super jacked about today because we're going to install an air ride suspension on the 2017 Road Glide. Damn it! Alright, so to prepare for the kit to be installed, what we're going to need to do is get this thing on a jack so it's standing straight up. We need to remove the saddlebags, the side covers, and the seat, and that way we can get to all the areas that we're going to need to run our wiring through, and also our air lines as well. Alright, so one of the things I typically forget to do is do a before kind of thing, and so I wanted to take the opportunity right now, because I just happened to remember to do just that, and that's to measure the distance from the ground to the bottom of the exhaust. Right, so if you look, we're sitting at about 8¼ inches. So we've got the rear shocks, the original rear shocks off. I'm putting the new air shocks on, and for these bolts, they don't look like they had it, but I don't know, for stuff like this I like to put a little bit of Loctite on the bolt before I put it in, because this is one of those things where if it came undone, it would be a really bad day for you and for me. So I don't want that to happen. I like my safety. So go ahead and put your bolts in. You'll want to snug them up, and then you're going to have to torque them to the appropriate value for your bike. For touring models, or at least the Milwaukee 8s, I think it's like 35 to 40 foot-pounds of torque for these. So I'm just going to snug this up, get my torque wrench, and set it to the right torque. So now that I have my shocks mounted and torqued, like I said, I added some Loctite to them. Again, maybe I'm just being overcautious, but you know, if you could imagine what it would be like to have one of your bolts for your shocks vibrate its way, work its way out, and then you lose a shock, you know, that probably wouldn't be the best. So just an extra precaution that I'm taking. The next thing we're going to mount up is the this plate here for the compressor. So these 4 bolts is where the compressor goes, and these 2 here, they're going to go here where the exhaust or the muffler mounts to the frame of the bike. So it just kind of goes in just like that. So this cutout allows for this area to get by, and then it'll tuck it in, like I said, right behind the shock and next to the wheel, but far enough where you're not putting anything in any kind of danger. So that'll be the next step, is pulling those bolts out, put them in here. They do slot them, so that way if you do have to adjust it from left to right, you can. It doesn't give you in and out, which is good, because like I said, it's already going to be a close fit, so you wouldn't want it to jiggle at all or be movable in or out, or at least definitely not in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll take a look at what it looks like before we put on the compressor, and then we'll move to installing the compressor. We've hit our first roadblock. So the plate goes in between, as I pointed out, where your exhaust and your saddlebag support gets mounted, and the bolt that goes through there is pretty short. I'd say this is maybe 1/4 inch. I mean, it's not very long at all, and of course it's not long enough, so you're adding in this thicker plate, and it won't reach through. So I'm gonna have to run to the hardware store to get myself a little bit longer bolt, but because like I said in some of my previous videos, I keep all kinds of crap, right? So I've got 2 bolts that I can use to just mock this up. So I'm going to do that, so that way I can get everything else mounted up and piped through the bike, and that way I can complete the build, and then all I have to do is replace these 2 screws. Of course, I would not ride with these being in place, just because, well, one, this is going to be super long. I mean, I could cut it, but, and then again, it's just, you know, these aren't even the same screw, like, or at least the heads. They're both button heads, but this is a Phillips and this is a hex head. So again, just going to use it for mounting purposes, and I will get the appropriate screws to put in there before I put on the saddlebag. And that's relatively easy because this is accessible just by removing the saddlebag, so it's not going to be like it's a whole bunch of work. So you know, you run into these things, right? These are the little things that get you. All right, so I've got this thing in here mocked up. So you know, I've actually got one bolt that'll fit all the way through. As far as the slotting goes, I did have to push this back or forward. Yeah, forward, to ensure I cleared my bolts here from the compressor, so the compressor is not hitting anything. But I'll tell you what, like, this thing is right there. Can't really get in between too much, but it's a very tight fit. It's close. The good news is there's nothing that should be hitting, because if there's something on your brake rotor, then you got bigger problems than just rubbing up against your compressor. So I've got the air tubing done now. So this is kind of my leftover. I'd say it's probably about, oh God, I'd say like 3 feet left over. So I ended up using about 7 feet of the 10-foot line. And just again to walk you through, so it goes up here. I've got some Velcro for right now. This is not the finished product because I've still got to run my electrical through there. It comes up through here and then into our T-fitting here. This other side of the T-fitting goes to the dump valve, which is here. And then this portion here gets connected to this T-fitting. This goes across into the other shock, and then this one comes up and into this shock. So once I get the electrical done and kind of button things up a little bit, I'm going to pressurize the system and do my soapy water check just to make sure I've got no air leaks. Again, if it's going to fail, that's probably where it's going to fail. All right, guys, so we got all the electrical run. I did make a mistake with my switch. I've got it flipped upside down, so I will be pulling it out just so I can swap my wires, because right now up is depleting the air and down is, you know, running up the compressor. It's not a big deal. It's just, you know, intuitive thinking makes you think up is up and down is down, right? So it works perfectly. It'll annoy me after a while, like, yeah, if I leave it, right? So got all the wiring done. It's all nice and loomed up, so it looks cleaner. I've currently got it pressurized to test out the fittings and everything. So like I said, I'm using some soapy water. So this is just water with some Blue Dawn in it, and all you do to test those fittings is throw a little bit of it on each of the connections, and what you're looking for is bubbles, right? So you just want to make sure that at each of your connections you're not seeing bubbles starting to pop out. So that looks good. We'll go here and test out the compressor fitting. Oh, so you see that? That's exactly what I'm looking for. That is an air leak. This is a perfect example. So what I need to do is I'm going to try tightening in that first, because maybe it's just not tight enough, because I didn't want to crank on it at all. And if it goes away, then I'm done. I'm good. If not, I will have to remove that fitting and retape it with some Teflon tape to fix it. So let me go ahead and address that issue. But that is the only place it looks like that this is possibly leaking. For your shocks, kind of just do the same thing. You're looking for those air bubbles, and again, it's not like they're gonna sneak up on you. It's pretty quick. So you saw it as soon as I sprayed this. I got air bubbles. So I tried tightening that thing up. I couldn't get it to stop leaking, so I'm going to go ahead and reapply Teflon tape. So this is the tape I was talking about. Like I said, it comes on this like blue and white spool. It's just white, like, well, Teflon tape, right? So you just apply a little bit to the threads of the fitting and then reinsert the fitting. Don't go too thick because you won't be able to screw this thing in. Don't go too thin. So like a single layer, yeah, it's like maybe like 1.5, right? Okay, guys, so here it is, um, all installed. Right now I have it at its highest point. Something to point out here is, you see that bolt there? If you go too high, that will hit your exhaust pipe, so you need to be mindful of that as you raise and lower your bike. I think it's something over time you'll figure out, but it's something to be aware of. I may end up getting the pressure gauge, to add into the system here, just so I can monitor what that right level is, and maybe tag it, as a like red line area to not exceed. I'll have to wait and see. But um, it's at a reasonable level. In fact, let's get the look at the tape measure really quick so we can compare it just one more time. So this is max height, same pipe, and right now max height, and I'm going to the base of the opening, is about 9 inches. So stock was 8.25. With this fully inflated, it's about 9 inches. So about 3/4 of an inch higher when you do it that way. So I'll go ahead and deplete it so you can see what this thing looks like when it gets dropped. And there you go. That thing is sitting very low. So overall, I think it looks amazing. This is definitely a must-have if you have a bag or throw that air suspension on. It's definitely worth it for the for the price of the kit that I bought. Now, if you wanted to be more expensive kit, good on you. I think it's worthwhile as well. If you're on a budget like I am, then from what I see, you get the same thing for a fraction of the price again. So hopefully you like this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you like my content, consider subscribing. Costs you nothing. And if you don't want to miss out on the next video, hit the notification bell. I produce every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I hope to see you in the win.